Welcome back, Patriots, to the Bald Brad Show. In today's episode, we're talking about how Joe Biden wants to limit your Second Amendment rights, how inflation has skyrocketed, even though Janet Yellen just came out the other day and said that ain't the case. Everything is A-OK, fine and dandy. And we also have The View losing their minds once again, folks. We're going to break everything down for you before we jump into any of it. I got a gem of a video right here for all of you. While I was doing show prep, this one popped up for me where Democrat Representative Sheila Jackson Lee struggles to use the special eclipse glasses. Folks, these are the people Democrats elect in office. These are the people that think they know better than you do on how to live out your own life. These are the same people that are chiseling away at your Second Amendment rights, the same people that use big tech to go after you and Donald Trump, the same people that went after Donald Trump for over 4 years and are still going after him, the same people that lied about January 6th, the same people that lied about the Russian hoax. It makes sense now why we all think they're crazy, because they are. Try not to laugh. Isn't that something else? You can't figure it out? You can't figure it out? Folks, these are the people Democrats elect into office. These are the people that sit there and tell you what the tax bracket should be. These are the people that think they know. Why is she blowing a whistle? And then she just walks away from the podium with the microphone. What are you doing? She's pulling a Joey.
Just act like you can see.
Just act like you can see. Does this not, like, where's the image here? Where's oh, this one. Does that not sum up the Democrat Party's face right there? You don't need any other image. This is the Democrat Party. Or you get Joe Biden drooling from a drip tray, one or the other, but she's going to aimlessly walk away from the podium, just like Joe Biden does. I don't know if he's rubbing off on other people, but I had to share that with you because it's absolutely insane. Oh, we'll come back to it if I have to use it. It is wild. Wild. Well, speaking of other wild news, this one's really going to get all of you. Joe Biden's going after your Second Amendment rights. Not me making it up. By the way, I'm not even fabricating that in the slightest. Like, I am not manipulating his words. I'm not twisting them. I'm not even going to the extreme like Karine Jean-Pierre likes to say that we're doing. No. He's being as clear as he's ever been. Like, if he got doped up, well, you'll see in just one moment. So President Joe Biden made numerous claims about the Second Amendment during an interview that aired this week on Univision. And this was all about his anti-gun agenda. And for some reason, he was talking just specifically when it pertains to parts of the country that have large numbers of Latinos, and I'm assuming because it was on Univision, that have experienced mass shootings. Well, when he was asked about this, and if he would take executive action to limit America's Second Amendment rights, folks, change this word limit with infringe. You would come to the exact same question. When asked if he would take executive action to infringe on America's Second Amendment rights, same phraseology, if he wins re-election, the dude said, absolutely. The clearest he's ever been. The dude woke up, this guy woke up from his nap, unstrapped his CPAP machine, and sat there and goes, I'm gonna go after the rights. The dude's off his rocker, folks. And now that I mention it, he has CPAP machine marks. You couldn't write this. I made this up. Like, oh, he just woke up from a nap. He, had his warm glass of milk right there in the nightstand. Take off his CPAP machine. It's on screen. You can't make this up. He just woke up. It almost seems like I made that up. I did it. It's right there. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So he says, absolutely. Like, without a doubt, guaranteed, I'm going after your guns. Look, I, along with Dianne Feinstein, passed the first limitation on assault weapons. It just shows you how much of an idiot he is. So he went from like super being cognitively coherent in like a matter of 1 second to in 2 seconds being absolutely incoherent. First limitation on assault weapons, whatever an assault weapon is, I don't know. The Democrats still can't label what the hell that is. And the number of bullets that could be in a rifle, as if that changes anything. They don't understand, you guys. They're not with the rest of us. They don't understand how guns work. The idea anybody needs 100 rounds on a rifle and an AR-15, by the way, that was one of the main reasons for an automatic rifle, of which I'm assuming he's talking about here. I have no idea. He just says assault weapons. The whole reason for an automatic rifle was because when you have this spread of bullets, the more likelihood is that the bullet's going to sit there and hit the moving target that you're trying to hit, because anybody knows hitting a moving target when adrenaline's rushing, there's things going on around you, isn't as easy as you see in the movies. And so that was the whole purpose, was bringing in more rounds so that you could hit a moving target with an automatic rifle than you would be by shooting a single action rifle. So that was literally the main function of an automatic rifle, was to kill human beings efficiently. Now, they're going to go after your AR-15 for some ungodly reason, which is one of the most utilized rifles out there. What's even more astonishing than that, of him just blatantly saying, if I'm reelected, I'm coming for your guns. Unbelievable, because he took an oath of office to uphold the Constitution, which you have a constitutional right to bear arms. In the Bill of Rights, the dude's like, oh, forget it. I took an oath of office. I put my hand on the Bible. Doesn't matter. I'm going after it anyways. You guys, he's done the same thing for fossil fuels. So no shock that gas prices went through the roof. I mean, he's at least clear on what he's going to do, and he's telling you right here exactly what he's going to do. Biden falsely claimed that we don't have background checks for anybody purchasing a weapon. Folks, I have a firearm, okay? I'm sure a lot of you have firearms that watch the show because we're patriots and we utilize our rights. You have to do a background check. I don't know when the Democrat Party pulled this out of their you-know-what, or just pulled it from the ethos of the thin air, some ungodly thing that they metastasized in their brain and tried to make it reality and pulled it into this universe. I don't know when they did it. It's crazy. It's ludicrous. It's not real. It's completely fabricated. It's BS at the end of the day. But that's what they do. Do you realize that? Have you guys noticed that too? Or is it just me that they consistently sit there and try to alter reality, whether it's with the language or actual reality of saying that a man could be a woman and a woman could be a man? Do you notice that they're constantly trying to change and tell you something different of what you could see with your own eyes, meaning gaslight you, constantly lie to you? At least he's not lying here in the sense of, well, he's going to go after your weapons, and then he goes into the lie and says, you don't need background checks. You can just give guns out willy-nilly. It's just... I haven't seen a Democrat friend call him out. Have you? Haven't seen Democrats call him out for anything. Biden claiming that he taught the Second Amendment in law school. No, he didn't. Completely made up. He just made it up. Nobody challenges him on this, and we have a video clip of it. Don't worry. We had a clip of this guy. Also, falsely claimed that the Second Amendment was written with limitations on what Americans could own. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And the dude just straight up lies. We'll watch the video. You guys, I need you to understand this. When I say that there is not a single truth that he says in this video, I mean that in all literal sense. All literal sense, he doesn't say a single truth in this video.
From the very beginning, I used to teach the Second Amendment in law school. From the very beginning, there were limitations. You couldn't own a cannon. You could own a rifle, a gun, but there were certain things you couldn't do. But they weren't weapons of war.
Folks, I don't even know what to say other than somehow, 82, 83 million people voted for this guy. Somehow. I mean, we know how, right? But we got to be careful on YouTube. We're already being screwed by YouTube. We're already being shadow banned. Some of my videos are getting like 50 views, right? Out of 54,000 subscribers. I think you could put the 2 and 2 together. Biden, right here, again, this comes from the Wall Street Journal. Biden's false claim that the Second Amendment bans cannon ownership. It's not true. You could have owned cannons. You could have. The president offered this aside as he made a litany of his regular points about the need for background checks, and what he says was effectiveness of bans on assault weapons and large capacity magazines that expired. The facts are that the cannon element is what mostly interests us here, but we should also address Biden's framing about the Second Amendment, which was part of the Bill of Rights adopted in 1791. The meaning of the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be what? Infringed. But they just swapped it out for the word limitation or limit. That's what they do. has long been debated, but experts said Biden especially mischaracterized it. Everything in that statement is wrong, the research director and Second Amendment project director at the Independence Institute. After 1791, there were no federal laws about the type of gun you could own, and no states limited the kind of gun you could own. Not until the early 1800s were there any efforts to pass restrictions on carrying concealed weapons. And it goes on and even talks to the fact you could have owned firearms. So, he just makes this stuff up. He's not with us. And that's why that Robert Hur report is so important, and the audio that we get out from it, because I think it's only going to sit there and bring even more awareness to the craziness of Joe Biden, his administration, and also the Democrat Party. Well, to add on to the craziness of Joe Biden, the Democrat Party, you got inflation, folks. Inflation is going up once again. And I kid you not, just the other day, Janet Yellen said inflation was going down. I'm not joking. She said this after March. The March numbers are out. Inflation went up. Here we got from Fox News.
We have the best economy in the world. We got to make it better. We really do have the best economy in the world.
The inflation is out of control, and now it's out of control again. They brought down the rate so fast because they want to get elected, and it's going to work out just fine.
Well, inflation remains high, well above the Federal Reserve's target for cutting interest rates. In fact, the CPI, Consumer Price Index, came out today, year over year, overall at 3.5, core at 3.8%. Let's talk about the economy and the politics surrounding it with Fox News chief political analyst Brit Hume. You know, Brit, good evening. The president today in the afternoon said that we, the administration and the country, better situated than when he took office. But if you look at the chart of inflation when he took office, started at 1.4% and now is at 3.5%.
Oh, you mean Joey lied to us? You're telling me Joey lied to us, Brett? Shocker. We're better off than now I took off. Like, no, you weren't. You lied again,
Obviously,
Joey.
Double, and he did bring it down, but it's still hot.
Well, and let's remember this about what happens when you bring the rate of inflation down. What that means is not that prices are going lower. They're not. They're just rising at a slower rate. So you had this huge run-up in prices that occurred fairly early in the administration after some truly massive spending during the Biden administration, on top of massive spending that had been done back during when COVID was raging and the economy was shut down. And the result was what was inevitably going to be, was inflation. We got this huge run-up, eye-popping numbers of inflation. Everybody felt it. And people are still feeling it because these prices are so much higher now for all kinds of things, nearly everything, than they were when President Biden took office. And they're still rising. And the president points to the numbers about having brought inflation down. Yes, that happened. About the jobs numbers, which are high, they are. About the growth in the economy, it's there. But as long as people are looking at the things they buy day in and day out and other things they may need to buy, cars and washing machines and the rest of it, and the prices are way, way higher than they used to.
Folks, even Fox News, I really do. I feel like they missed the mark on this. Inflation is not down. Inflation is not down. You just showed this chart that it was 1.4% when he came in office. It's 3.5% now. It's doubled since he's been in office. So he hasn't brought it down. If you want to sit there and like, well, it's 9.1%. It was a 40-year high. And well, he's brought it down since then. It's still up. It's still up. They're going to sit there, you guys, and manipulate you. We have it right here. Never take it from me. Always do the own research. I'll bring the receipts when I can. You have Janet Yellen right here. This was just the other day, like a day ago, 24 hours, 48 hours ago. Folks, listen to what she has to say.
Well, it just shows that U.S. is firing on all cylinders. I mean, in terms of short-term performance, inflation is coming down. The job market is very strong. Growth is really been a lot stronger than I would have expected at this stage. We had 3.1% growth last year. Inflation's coming down. Labor supply is up. And we're seeing some of the pressures we might worry about coming from the labor market impacting inflation. They're subsiding, but unemployment remains very low.
You're still confident we can get to 2% this year? We've seen a little bit of a flare-up so far this year.
Well,
folks, she also went on to say That's fine. Families are fine. Everybody's doing okay. We talked about that in yesterday's episode. That's not the case. It's not the case. If you broke down gas prices, groceries, electricity, all those things, no, families are not doing okay. In the same video right here, she sat there and talked about how people were having to dip into their savings. She called it a buffering zone, a buffer that was established and created during and before COVID. Well, if you're going to say that it happened during or before COVID, people were able to have a savings and not tap into it because who was in office? Joe Biden wasn't in office. Donald Trump was in office. That buffer was created. That reserve was created by Donald Trump. But leave it up to the Democrat Party. Leave it up to Joe Biden to sit there and destroy the reserves. No, not just money reserves. Oh, no. You got to understand. Remember, folks, he tapped into our oil reserves that aren't being replenished. And when she was asked about this specifically, Karine Jean-Pierre was asked by a reporter during the White House press briefing just last week about who's going to sit there and fill our reserve once again, because Joe Biden made the promise that he was going to fill it after he gave it to freaking China. That's not a joke. He gave it to China, one of the provinces in China that Hunter Biden had business dealings in. He gave millions of barrels of oil to them. Our barrels that were supposed to go to states or localities for natural disasters, he gave it to China. So he has a history and a track record of taking our reserves, not just on a federal level, but you on an individual level. He's taking your money out of your pocket, and you're seeing it right here. And she's going to sit there and say, well, Americans are tapping into their reserves that were established before COVID and during COVID, so they're financially stable. They're doing okay. If you're having to tap into your savings, which is classified as an emergency fund, it is not okay. That means there's an emergency. That means you're having more money coming out and spending than you have coming in because you're tapping into your savings to do that. People aren't able to save, Janet. They're not doing well, but this administration is so far gone, you guys. I can't quantify it into words. Obama was bad. Don't get me wrong. Obama was really bad. Matter of fact, I think Obama put us in one of the worst situations in history with his Iran nuclear deal. Look what Biden's doing by allowing millions of people to pour across the border that we don't know who they are. There's hundreds of terrorists here now. How do I know that? Well, if you allowed close to 10 million people to enter into the interior of the country, and just already you know about roughly 300 people are known terrorists and known, you could just extrapolate that data out going, well, there's probably another 300 people that we don't know about at least that are considered terrorists that want to harm you and your family. Wild stuff. And people are still going to vote for Joey. You guys, I'm like, what do you think needs to happen for the Democrat Party to wake up? I'm not saying Republicans are even the answer to everything. That's not what I'm saying. Trump, doing great. Joe Biden, not so great. You have to make exorbitantly more amount of money under Joe Biden to just be able to live at the same standard as you were living under Donald Trump. You're having to work harder. You're having to work longer. Folks, they're going to tell you, you just heard it, that the economy's fine. You're doing great. You're not feeling the effects of any stupid decision Joe Biden did. That's Putin's fault. That's Trump's fault. It's Republicans' fault. It's Xi Jinping of China. It's not Joe Biden's fault. We're not going to believe that here on the show. The Patriots, the Bald Brad Army ain't going to believe it. No way in hell. We could read the BS. We could smell the duty from Joey's diaper that he's defecating in regarding all the BS that he's espousing. We'll sit here and keep you up to date on all of that. But we ain't done, folks. We ain't done with the doo-doo. We ain't done with Joey's stinky diaper. No. We have other diapers that are stinky, and that comes from The View. The View right here. And we got clips. We got the receipts. We got the clips. Whoopy Goldberg says Republicans want to bring slavery back. Folks, people are leaving, the black votes leaving Biden and coming to Donald Trump. No Republican wants to bring back slavery. You guys, the ignorance that comes from this TV show is head spinning. You couldn't write it. You couldn't make it up. Folks, it was the Democrats that were for slavery. History tells us. Wasn't that long ago? History tells us Democrats were for slavery. They fought for it. They gave their lives for slavery. And she's going to tell us Republicans want to bring it back. You idiot. It was Republicans that wanted to abolish slavery. Republicans gave up their life for slavery to get rid of it. I don't understand how they are walking. Like, how the hell do they survive? Whoopi Goldberg claimed Wednesday that Republicans were doing their best to bring back slavery, suggesting that the only safeguard to prevent such a move would be an activist court. I have to show you. I have to show you because it's so outlandish that I feel like you wouldn't believe me unless I showed you. Let's roll.
You have to keep in mind. Take a look at the things that they're rolling back. Remember, I said ages ago, you know, they in their minds they want to bring slavery back. They're okay with it because you see. Things change. You know, one of the good things about the Supreme Court is you can fight to make sure you make stuff better. You don't generally fight to make stuff worse. Or to roll back. And to me, if you're okay rolling that back, when things were not even a state, when we had no say, so how's that going to roll? How's that going to roll? What's the next thing? Because, you know, on this... with all of this comes birth control. Right. With all of this comes everything that you need as a woman to have had put in place to make sure that we were doing better than we were before.
I really do mean this. Patriots, Bald Brad Army. What the hell was she talking about? Hey, honestly, like, could somebody take those words that she just said and maybe package it for us? If there's any liberals in here, you guys, believe it or not, read the comment section. Leave comments down below. There'll be a few that trickle in here. They already have. Oh, you'll have a grand old time with what they have to say. It's really head spinning. It's the same thing you're gonna hear from The View. Clearly, they're probably watchers and avid viewers of it. Folks, package it for me to make sense of what the hell she just said. Folks, there's no difference between Whoopi Goldberg and Sheila Jackson Lee putting on sunglasses. So crazy. It's so wild. Oh, we're not done. No, we're not done with The View. Don't go anywhere, folks. Don't go anywhere. He wrote a roadmap for the states so that he could look in their books and go back to the 1860s, even before Arizona was founded. That comes for Sunny Houston. Oh, let's see Joy Behar. Joy Behar is the same woman that sat there, and we covered this years ago, where this lady, I should say lady, this young woman was in the process of stabbing a lady in the neck. So the officer shot and killed the lady that was stabbing the other individual into the neck by saving somebody's life now. And Joy Behar couldn't grasp the concept of the police officer shooting and killing somebody who was actively stabbing somebody in the neck. And she said that he should have gave a warning shot or maybe shot him in the kneecaps or the buttocks. It was one of the best videos I've ever seen in my life because it shows you how stupid these people are. Joy Behar claims Justice Alito was appointed by Donald Trump. Folks, he was not appointed by Donald Trump. He was appointed by George W. Bush. They don't know what they're talking about. They're lost. They're confused. They're like, Joey, they're not with us.
Justice Samuel Alito is the person that wrote for the majority. And he said, Roe's failure even to note the overwhelming consensus of state laws in effect in 1868 is striking. So be very clear. He wrote a roadmap for the states so that they could look in their books and go back to the 1860s, even before Arizona was founded, which was in 1912, and gave them the game book.
And he was appointed by Donald Trump.
Yes, he was.
Who took the credit for overthrowing Roe v. Wade.
Well, just
Really?
wait, go ahead.
I mean, if you think about it, look, we all mess up, but it like is relentless on the amount of mistakes or just idiotic things these people say. Like, if I'm not fully knowledgeable about something, and, you know, quite honestly, a lot of things I'm not any better than all of you. You guys are probably more knowledgeable than on a lot of things than I am. But it really is a remarkable thing coming from The View. Now, to give credit, a couple minutes later, Joy Behar did issue a correction because she probably heard it from a producer. Hey, you knucklehead, that's not the case. So she did issue a correction. I want to make sure that I call that out, but still a remarkable thing saying the Republicans want to sit there and bring back slavery. What an idiotic statement. Mind you, it's the Democrat Party and the progressive left in conjunction with one another that want to bring back segregation. That's what they want to do on multiple fronts, multiple levels. Well, I have more gems of videos. I got to just keep showing videos because I'm having too good of a time with you all. We have Kamala Harris here. So now that we know that Joe Biden not only wants to sit there and chisel away at your First Amendment rights, because under his regime, his authoritarian regime, he wanted to put forth the Ministry of Truth, if you recall that, by sitting there and censoring opposing viewpoints that they don't like. We already know that they used big tech to do that, and they actually wanted to put forth a Ministry of Truth to tell you what is truth, what is misinformation, disinformation. Now you know automatically, because we already covered it in this episode, that he wants to put limitations. He wants to infringe on your Second Amendment rights. He already guaranteed it. Absolutely, he promised it. Now, they want to sit there and take your hard-earned money and pay off other people's loans. Now, the crazy thing about this is not only has he tried to use executive action to pay off people's student loan debt, the Supreme Court said, hey, that's an overreach of the executive branch. You can't do that. And so he goes, screw you, I'm going to do it anyways. And so now we have Kamala Harris here talking about this student loan debt forgiveness program that they're implementing. Folks, watch what she says and then we'll talk about it.
Your loans will be completely forgiven, regardless of your income and even if you did not graduate. So I'm going to repeat that. If you've paid undergraduate loans for more than 20 years or graduate loans for more than 25 years, those loans will be completely forgiven regardless of your income and even if you did not graduate. And forgiveness will be automatic for the vast majority of the 25 million people that we believe will benefit from.
Folks, you saw it there on your screen.
Will be
not only did she say it once, but she's like, hey, just in case you didn't hear me, I'm going to double down on this in the same phrase. Not only is it crazy that they're going to sit there and forgive other people's loans, which you have no responsibility to take care of. You didn't co-sign that loan. You knew nothing about that loan. Some of you didn't even go to college. And now because you didn't go to college, you still have to pay for some other dude sitting there and their loan. Folks, regardless of their income, you that never went to college could be making, I'm just going to make up a number. I'm not, I don't know your guys' income. $40,000 a year. Let's just say I completely made that up. This person could be making $400,000 a year, $500,000 a year, and get their loan paid off. You could be in the scenario of you did go to college making $40,000 a year, having a massive loan that you're paying off, and some other dude that's way more well off than you are, that could easily probably pay off his loan or her loan, regardless of income level, is having their loan paid off. I'm not surprised anymore. I'm not surprised anymore. They can't put on glasses. Joey can't sit there and find the Oval Office. Joe can't get out of bed without CPAP machine marks on his face. These people are not with us. For the love of baby Jesus, come down and figure this ish out, because these people can't do it. You are, for some reason, getting screwed as an American when you vote in Democrat. And the reason I said for whatever reason, Democrats didn't used to act like this. Go back to Clinton. Let's just use Clinton as an example. Clinton wasn't for illegal migration. He was for securing the border. Matter of fact, just to let you know, so was Barack Obama early on. So was Obama. So you're seeing a massive shift since Obama's time in the Democrat Party. And they're going to tell you that, oh, these right-wing extremists, right? They're going so far right where the Democrat Party's staying stationary. Folks, if you were to listen to JFK's speeches, JFK sounds like a Republican. JFK sounds like a moderate Republican, just a normal, average Joe conservative Republican. Not anymore. These people are so off their rockers, it is insane. I'm bringing this up because the election's coming up in months. They're still going to vote for the guy. They're still going to sit there and cheat. They're still going to sit there and push for amnesty. They're still going to sit there and push for climate change and electric vehicles that screw you over. Inflation's still going to go through the roof. Nothing's going to change under Joey. And by the way, things are so bad. They are so freaking bad. Things are going to be hard to change under Trump. That's the thing. I think Trump could do it. which is why I'm voting for him. Oh, you bet your ass I'm voting for Trump. There ain't no way in hell I'm voting for Joey. No way. Well, speaking of our voting for Joey and the Democrat Party and just driving this country into the ground, State Department's new DEI official said America's institutions are riddled with racism based on a failed historical model. They love race, and they're going to sit there and say, Republicans want to bring back slavery. Every aspect of the Democrat Party and their ideology encompasses race. You have to understand that. It is a cornerstone of their party. Has always been. The Ku Klux Klan, right? They wanted slavery. They fought for slavery. They died for slavery. They wanted it, and they continually want it. Now it's more of a metaphorical idea of slavery. They love the metaphorical plantation. They love everything about race. Race is in every aspect, again, of their ideology, and you're seeing it in real time through this DEI initiative, which is gross. It's grotesque. It's not right. I don't think you should hire anybody based on race. I don't think your race has anything to do with who you are as an individual. I believe in what Martin Luther King said. You should judge somebody by their character, not by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. I don't understand this party. I really don't. I try. I understand some aspects of their party. Don't get me wrong. But they are going so far off the reservation, it's tough for me to side with them. The newly appointed DEI chief at the State Department claimed that America's institutions are riddled with racism, and based on a failed historical model is now deleted article. Well, why won't you keep it up, Anthony? Why won't you keep it up, Mr. Blinken? Why'd you delete it? In the same way they delete their tweets, which we covered here on the Bald Brad Show. One of our actually famous videos that got 40,000 views talked about how they deleted some Twitter stuff. Check that one out. So you have Johnson, who was appointed as the department's chief diversity and inclusion officer. Talk about a waste of taxpayer dollars. Last week by Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, who boasted that she brings expertise and a fresh perspective on how we build a force that reflects America. Johnson, who previously served as senior advisor and director of the first Race, Ethnicity, and Social Inclusion Unit, what the hell is that, in the department under former President Barack Obama. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, this is not something that you would see created by a Republican, that's for damn sure. Or a fiscal conservative like myself. Why? Because it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money. In the department under former President Barack Obama, made scathing criticisms of the United States in a now deleted article published on October 19th. Why delete it? Why delete it? On the website of Fair Share of Women's Leaders, a feminist organization. We shouldn't be shocked. Quote, in every position I've held, from junior associate to senior advisor, there have been opportunities to challenge the forces that seek to silence women and those most vulnerable in society. They just make stuff up. They just pull it out of their you-know-whats or out of thin air. There are mechanisms and cultures which dispute the humanity and ability of people like me to be trusted to lead. Well, we don't trust you to lead because you're not with us. In the same way, we don't trust Joey to lead because he's not with us. She added before saying that America's institutions are often riddled with racism and patriarchy and exclusion, of course. Oh, it's just all about the patriarchy. Same crap. You know, I thank God every day that I wasn't indoctrinated by the institutions of the media and the education system and all that other stuff. Can you imagine living your life as a victim? Like thinking racism is just a major problem in the United States, that there's some nameless, faceless, shadowy figure always trying to hold you down, and that you want to feel like a victim because somehow that's empowering for you. I thank God every day that I'm not like that, because that has to be a terrible life to live. It says here, these are chunks, or chinks rather. Does it say chinks? These are chinks in the armor. Racist! Racist! These are chinks in the armor of traditional leadership that refuse to reconcile with a colonizing past, or recognize that time has run out for experimentation and tweaking of a failed historic model. It's the best model that's ever been created in human existence, in my opinion. I mean, the free market, capitalism, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution is the best thing that's ever been created in human existence by far, not even close. There's no other system. I'm not saying it's a perfect system, but damn, it's the best one that's pulled people out of poverty than any other system's ever been created. And by the way, if you got something better, why don't you go ahead and say it? But they don't. The things that they have better, you guys, limit your liberties. That's the thing. They don't ever ask that question. We talked about this in the other day's episode. They don't ever ask the question when they implement a policy, meaning the Democrat Party, going, how does this sit there and limit or infringe on somebody else's right of freedom and liberty? They never ask that question. That's a question we should always ask ourselves is, if we're going to do something in terms of enacting a law or policy, how does that stop there, or how does that limit, or how does that inhibit somebody being able to use their liberties and freedoms? That should always be the question. They don't do it. And they just espouse racism, the patriarchy, exclusion, victimism, victimization, whatever the hell they want to espouse. So it runs out experimentation and tweaking a failed historic model. If you think it's so if it's such a failure, my question is, why do they live here? You know what I mean? Like, if they think that we're such a racist country and that it's ran by ran by the patriarchy, and then it's all about exclusion and that we're discriminating against other people and all those things, like, why live here then? Like, go to the place that you think is better. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. If I thought America was racist, that it was holding me down, and that no matter what I did, there was some organization, institution, historical model that was established and created to hold me down, why would I stay here then? I would find that place that's out there, because it has to be, that would do better. Like, why would you stay here? It just doesn't make sense. Why? Because they know it's not making sense. They know it's BS, but they'll still espouse it because they're crazy. Also affirming the tenets of critical race theory and stating that we cannot have equity without dismantling structural racism, patriarchy, and heterosexism. Folks, if you dismantle heterosexism, which I'm assuming that's just a male and a female having some sort of sex, I'm guessing, I don't even know what that is. How do you sit there and reproduce? By the way, structural racism, what structure is establishing racism, and who are those people in that structure that are establishing that racism? Because this is what they do. They just shout, institutional racism, patriarchy, but don't actually give specifics. I don't like racism. I know none of you like racism. But if we're going to sit there and fight it together, I need specifics. You know, it's like you go to the doctor. I don't feel good. Okay, can you be specific so I can help you? I don't feel good. I understand that, but how can I help you if you're not specific? Ah, fuck you, I don't feel good. Like, they're idiots. Don't make me go back to it. I'm going back to it. These are the people that shout racism. These are the people that sit there and are elected in office by Democrats. These are the people that are running the country. These are the people that can't put on glasses. You have a guy in office that sits there, can't clean up after himself. Okay? These are the people. And they'll do it again. You have to understand that Democrats are going to do it again. She also co-authored a guide called Feminist Leaders for Feminist Goals. Folks, don't spend your time reading that. You want something to read? Trojan horse. Left has destroyed America. You're seeing it. You're seeing it. By the way, Patrick bought a signed copy off the website. I hope you enjoy it, my friend. Let me know in the comment section if you started reading it or if you actually did receive it. It said it got mailed to you. So I hope you enjoy it. I signed it myself and packaged it. I put it in a bubble wrap all by myself. Enjoy it, my friend. I hope you do, and thank you for your purchase. Thank you for supporting a true American patriot. We have right here, feminist leadership must change power structures. I'm having too much fun with this article. Should we stop? Should I skip past this? Because I'm having a good time. It's so baffling that I'm enjoying myself too much. I skipped a part. For the same organization, providing how a playbook for feminist groups to usurp a culture of male and or white dominance. You just had a black president. You had a black attorney general. You have a vice president that's allegedly, supposedly black. You know, I mean, however you want to believe that. You have black senators. Come on. You have Hispanic senators, Hispanic congresswomen and men. Like, give me this. Come on. Feminist leadership must change power structures in order to achieve transformative change. We must analyze and question existing power structures and how they affect decision making. Maybe she's right. Maybe she's right. Maybe she's right. Feminists should challenge the patriarchy. No, she said it. Challenge the patriarchy. The economy's fine, inflation's down. No, you're right. Challenge, fight it. Fight it for your best efforts, with your best efforts. No, she said it. She said it. Fight the patriarchy. Pay off people's student loans. You go, Kamala, the borders are. No, don't make me keep going. Fight the patriarchy. You're right. No, you're right. No, they got it all together. And by the way, you guys, I don't care if somebody's a male or female. I believe in this. I believe in what your character is all about, your traits, who you are as an individual. What ideas do you have? How are you going to make this country better? You sitting there espousing a bunch of nonsense that I don't personally think whatsoever is a major issue here in the United States is insane. I will listen to you espouse that craziness. But when you're going to sit there and just shout America's institutions are racist and sexist, but not actually establish who those institutions are, and institutions are just buildings and businesses, who within those institutions are actually racist, and what policies and laws are on the books that actually specify of which they're doing in policies that basically have an outcome of being sexist and racist, they can't do it. This is how they get by, you guys. They just shout a bunch of nonsense out there and oh, follow me for this. Black lives matter. No shit. Black lives, of course, matter. Human lives matter. Life matters. But when you just espouse a bunch of stuff, you know, that's what it goes. And the reason why I want to really bring this up too is not just from the craziness of it all, but the State Department has spent $77 million of your taxpayer dollars on this crap in just 2 years. And it's going to be exponentially more, by the way. And we covered that about a few weeks ago on how they want to spend vastly more money on this DEI initiative. And it's wild. It's wild. It's just a waste of money. This can go to our veterans. This can go to our homeless. This can go to people. You know, I'll go as far as to say, I don't even agree with this. I will go as far to say, I would rather you pay off Americans' loans and send it to Ukraine or Hamas or Iran or these countries that want to harm us. I would rather, if you were to spend it and you had to spend it somewhere on at least it's going to Americans. I don't think you should spend it on people's loans. Please understand what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying if you had to use it and I had the options between you sending it to freaking Iran that chants death to America or pay off Americans' student loans any day of the week, I would say pay off American student loans any day of the week. But that's not what they're doing. No, that's not what they're doing. Well, folks, damn good episode today. I felt good about this one. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Always love hanging out with you. Regardless of views, you patriots are always here for me, and I appreciate that. You always got my six. You leave me comments. You guys are what keeps me going. And I mean this in all literal sense. If I have one patriot that watches the show, and I mean this in all literal sense, I will continue to do it. It's an uphill battle. They're coming for us. They've been doing it. The numbers don't make sense. They're going to continue to shadow ban us. And I'm going to sit there and say, I ain't going to let it happen, baby. We're going to continue going forward no matter what. If I need your help, I know you guys will be there with me. I'm trying to fight this system. And this system, I sound like this lady, but I'm being specific. YouTube. I don't know their names inside YouTube, but somebody's doing some F-free right now, and we see it big time, and we ain't going to stop. So those that listen on YouTube, and I know that they do because they flag my videos, and I know you guys review this stuff. If you at YouTube see this, stop pulling the shenanigans and allow free speech to thrive. I got 54,000 subscribers. There's no reason as why I got 200 views when I had 100 subscribers versus 54,000. The viewership hasn't changed, but the subscribers have. And YouTube, you're being shown for it. I'm calling you out right now. Tell me otherwise, because I'm looking at the data and the data ain't daddy. Let me know what's up, YouTube, because I don't appreciate it. I don't like it one bit, but Patriots, I'm going to be here for you. I will continue to espouse the truth because I firmly believe it. Republicans and conservatives are the way, and so is Donald Trump, Mr. 2024 rather, Mr. 45, hopefully 47, folks. I'll see you next time here on The Paul Brad Show.